Okay, today is day 81. Get your worksheets and we'll be ready to go. All right, capitalization. Try that on your own, and then you can check at the end when I show the answers and see how you did. All right, so do it on your own. Punctuation. What they have here is the sample to an introduction of a formal letter. And so what they want to make sure that you realize is how to punctuate the address and then the very first line. So let's take a look. So over on this side of the paper, 3 Greyhawk Street, that would be ST period. Washington, comma, Illinois. And then March 29, comma, and then the year. Now it would be 2022. And then you would have Dear Cal, comma. Okay, so that's what this looks like. All right, good job. Moving right along this morning, we are now reviewing phrases and clauses. This goes back all the way to day 3. Okay, so if you're a little weak on what a phrase is and what a clause is, go to your handouts, day 3. Oops, you might have seen the answers. A clause is a group of words that contains a subject and a verb. A phrase is just 2 or more words, but there's no subject or verb in it. And what you have to do for your little review here is read the grouping of words and decide, is this a phrase or a clause? So let's take a look at 3A. After we went swimming. All right, there's obviously 2 or more words here. Is there a subject? There is, we. And is there a verb? There is, went swimming. So after we went swimming is C, a clause. All right, next we have after the game. 2 or more words, so we know we got a phrase or a clause here. After the game, is there a subject? There is, game. Is there a verb? No. That would be a P for phrase, not an F. Aw. Next one, 3C. Swimming is fun. Is there a subject? There is. Swimming is the subject. And is there a verb? Yes, is. Swimming is. Therefore, we have a clause here. 3D. Swimming in the lake. Is there a subject? There is. Swimming. Is there a verb? No, there's not. All there is a prepositional phrase, in the lake. There's nothing else. So that would be a phrase, P. All right? So here are your answers. Clause, phrase, clause, phrase. All right. Now we're moving right along to parts of speech. Verbs. Remember, the subject and verb of a sentence must agree. If the subject is joined by the correlative conjunctions either or, and or neither nor, the verb must agree with the subject closer to it. Their example, either a fever or chills often reflect illness. The subject of the sentence is fever or chills, but the verb agrees with chills because that's the closest subject, that's the subject closest to the verb. So you say chills reflect. All right? I hope that makes sense. Now, they say rewrite the example, inverting the compound subject, make the verb agree. What does that mean? Rewrite the example, inverting the compound subject? Well, if we invert the compound subject, which in the example is fever or chills, it becomes chills or fever. So what you have is either chills or fever, and then we would say reflect or reflects illness. All right? So what is the subject that is closest to the verb now? It's fever. And would we say fever reflects or fever reflect? Okay, hopefully you chose fever reflects, all right, because that's the correct verb, all right? So it would be fever reflects. So in the original sample, it was chills reflect, and now in this one, it was fever reflects. So you can see how the verb is agreeing with the different subjects. It's different forms. Last thing you have to do is sentence combining, all about vitamin D, which is a great vitamin to be aware of and consuming this time of year because it's really good for those of us who live in these cold winter climates with short days and long nights. All right, so I'm curious to see what you come up with for combining the 4 sentences about vitamin D. Last thing, you should have done your capitalization on your own, and now you're just correcting and checking your answer. Here it is. The sentence was, were Sir Edmund Hillary of New Zealand and his Nepalese guide the first to conquer Mount Everest. So that's what you should have marked for being capitalized. If you didn't, correct it. And if you did have it just like that, good for you. All right, that was it for today. A shorter one. Hooray! God bless you guys.